Season 2, Episode 4, The Tale of the 13th Floor. That rhymed. A story by the morose, sinister, bloodthirsty Betty Ann. Just look at her. She's terrifying. And we get a little skit before they get to the story. Kristen, David, and Betty Ann sneak up to the Midnight Society and put flashlights in their face and tell them, "You see us every week, but do you really know us? Do you really know anyone?" Christine and David always seem like they're together. Oh, they had a little romance in season 1, but some of these kids aren't going to be surviving until season 3. And I've really enjoyed Betty Ann's stories. She looks like a basic girl, but she gives the crazier ones, the more horror ones. And this one is quite scary, despite the fact that it takes place during the day. She's also going to be in this series for many, many seasons. She's done Tale, Laughing in the Dark, Nightly Neighbor, Sorcerer's Apprentice, and this is their 4th story. So it starts off in a renovated apartment complex, the 13th floor, where two kids, Billy and Kieran, are, well, they're just playing around. They're playing a little bit of hockey and hitting out the old windows. They go mess around and check out what other things are on this empty 13th floor. And after smashing some windows with their hockey puck, the ceiling begins to start crumbling, and they quickly escape. This was an episode I saw as a kid, and it really stuck with me. None of the Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes have a huge budget, but this really does a great job of creating this sci-fi universe we're about to see within the limitations of the budget. And I remember when I first watched it, this actually did look like a fun place to mess around. The thing is completely wide open, there's a bunch of toys strewn across the floor, and who wouldn't as a 12-year-old kid want to just mess around on the 13th floor as they're getting this thing renovated for apartments? It's like stumbling upon a construction site with a half-finished house that you shouldn't be walking through, but you can go up the stairs, dodge the nails that are still sitting there, and see that the second floor is still not completely finished. Do you walk across the boards? That's exactly what this 13th floor conveys, but it won't be empty for long. There's some new people from a land far away that are moving in and are turning this place into a toy shop. And guess who gets invited to try out these new toys? Kieran. Well, Billy doesn't get invited, but he tags along. They really want Kieran to come try these new toys and see if they would sell. If other kids might want to try them. She gets to be the official toy tester to see if these are really fun to play with and they should be put to market. At least that's what she's led to believe. And this place looks like a fun house. Even with a cheaper set, I really do think this conveys a carnival aesthetic with these very small multicolored corridors that she's going to get lost in later in the episode, and also vents on the floor that you can crawl through to enter different sections of this toy store. First person she meets is a woman named Olga, and when she's led into the toy testing room, they seem to have a real fondness for bowling pins. But they also have toy dogs and this little musical game where a man named Raymond will play a game of Intergalactic Simon Says. He will hit a few buttons in a certain sequence, and then Billy and Kieran have to repeat the sequence. And I think they actually mess up the audio on this one because he hits like beep boop boop boop, and then when they hit it's like burp, 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 burp. They only get it right towards the end where he hits 3 notes in sequence and they repeat those 3 notes. So I don't know what happened here. I'm not sure if they just had to edit out parts of it because he hits 3 notes and then they're supposed to repeat it, but they hit like 20 notes and it starts going crazy. And Billy seems to be better at this than Kieran, though eventually Kieran takes over as Billy gets a little sleepy. And Raymond is acting exactly like a robot. Next, Raymond, this robot guy, puts Kieran in what looks like a roller coaster booster seat. I half expected them to do a half-hearted virtual reality headset. I think that's what they were going for, but apparently this can like read her mind. Though Kieran does realize that she has some magical powers. She can make objects move with her mind. She can move this ball across the floor. And Raymond is very impressed with this. And then we get the reveal. Guess what? These people aren't just acting like robots. Raymond literally is a robot. The other girl, Olga, is an alien. And this is no toy shop. This is an alien spaceship. And they begin to beam Kieran up to these creepy hands that start grasping at her. And they take off their human masks and reveal their true form, which is a white cloth over their face that looks like they're about to do some fencing. And this episode moves at a really great pace. So she manages to escape, but Billy's still sitting there since they made him very, very sleepy. So she has to go back into this 13th floor and try to save him. Using her new developed telekinesis, she's able to switch off Raymond the robot and mess with some of the switches to make her escape.
I'm not going in any ship!
The kid Billy is played by Aaron Ashmore, who was in 5 episodes of Veronica Mars that I definitely never used to watch, and I definitely never had a crush on Kristen Bell. Also 35 episodes of Warehouse 13 and Killjoys. So his career is still going strong. So after Kieran's able to escape, they get home, her and Billy. And we get the ultra twist. You see, these aliens weren't all bad. In fact, they let her know that, well, as we see at the end, Kieran is actually an alien as well. They were just trying to bring her home. These were her real parents. Now, why they didn't say that at the time, they try to explain. They're like, oh, we didn't get around to telling you. Yeah, right, that's BS. You had plenty of time to tell her. You didn't do it because the script said so. This was just something they had to write in there. They go, we can't really figure out why they didn't just tell her, so, I don't know. The story calls for it, that's the reason why. But it's a nice twist, and it also makes sense, because I was wondering, how is she getting these telekinesis powers? Is she an alien? No. And I go, oh, she is. But they said they will come back in 10 years, and then they'll be able to take her up into the spaceship, and they can all live happily ever after. So maybe we'll get a sequel to the 13th floor in 10 years. This episode is great. I like it a lot. It's one of the few I memorized as a kid, and it scared me. It creeped me out. It made me think, and I still have all those feelings now. It is creepy. It takes place during the day, but just the fact that these aliens keep chasing after her, and the scene where they're all clawing at her is quite creepy. And the whole thing has just a bit of an odd, trippy, funhouse mirror feel to it, while still being completely comprehensible. This is not just another dream episode in the Lands of the Nod, where they just don't make any sense. And that's what I like, creative episodes that you could follow the plot with. Better than average production values and special effects, and an original story. You could see yourself as a kid playing on this 13th floor, and then they invite you to a toy shop. Your parents tell you not to take candy from strangers or go to toy shops, but you're going to do it anyways. And then the aliens trying to take you up into their spaceship. It's all very real, all very scary, and Betty Ann hits another one out of the park. Next up is The Tale of the Dream Machine. Oh boy, dream episodes are a hit and a miss. Is this going to be a hit or a miss? Well, stay tuned in a few days and find out. And also check out our playlist for all the other series we've covered. Of course, Are You Afraid of the Dark? We've also done Monsters, Fear Itself, Tales from the Dark Side, Cowboy Bebop, Pet Shop of Horrors, Mystery Science Theater 3000, and Black Mirror. Thanks a lot.